So today we're looking at the Maono PD400X, and this is an XLR USB combo microphone that retails for $150 before shipping. We're going to be looking at the features, build quality, and how it sounds so that you can determine if it's a good buy for you. Let's get straight into it. Starting off with the build, I think this is what you would expect for the price. The moment I took it out of the box, it felt hefty, at least in comparison to what I've tried before. This microphone has very little plastic. I think the only plastic pieces are this right here in the yoke mount and the knob to control the mic gain, but all of the microphone besides that, it's made out of metal. As you can see, it is very reminiscent of the Rode PodMic, which I really like the look of. And, in line with that, I really like the look of this microphone. It looks good in camera. I do have a little nitpick, and that is with the overly done logos, and not just with this particular brand, right? There's a lot of offenders in this area. I am all for having minimal branding in my gear, but I think this is a good example of how you shouldn't do branding on a microphone. I think if they kept like the name brand here in the microphone, that would have looked good, or done away with the branding here and blacked out their logo in the yoke mount, I think that would have been great. But as I've said in my previous review of their mixer, the branding is a little bit much. I have the logo in yellow right here in the yoke mount. I have the brand name here in sort of a white grayish tone. I don't like it. It really takes away from an otherwise great looking microphone. I think that, again, if they could keep their branding minimal, it would play in their favor. In my opinion, too much branding makes products in general, especially this one, look cheap. And this isn't particularly cheap, at least in the microphone realm. As far as the physical features on the microphone itself, you have the gain knob. That knob also lets you control the headphone volume as well as the headphone microphone mix if you're using live monitoring, which this microphone supports. You also have at the bottom of the microphone a physical button that you can use to switch between different EQ profiles. You have a flat profile, which is the one I'm using right now. You also have a high pass filter, a presence boost, and a combination of those two as well, a presence boost plus high pass filter. You obviously have an XLR and USB-C port, and you also have a capacitive mute button on this side right here. I'm gonna touch it now so that you can listen to how that sounds, if there's any feedback when you press the button. Just press the button again, and that is the mute function. Something I forgot to mention is that the knob is stepped, so there is going to be physical feedback when turning the knob up or down. All right, so now we're taking a look at the Maono Link software. This is a app that you can download through the Maono website. And as you can see here, if the microphone is already connected through USB, it's going to be visible. From here, you can adjust different settings on the microphone. As you can see, it's already set here to advanced, where the microphone gain is set to 90. We're going to first go with standard and see what that controls and how it works. But there is a discernible difference in sound quality probably and how loud it sounds. What the distance does basically is that when you select near, it's going to set the gain accordingly, assuming that you are 5 to 10 centimeters away from the microphone. If I switch it to mid, again, it's going to adjust the gain, assuming that I am 11 centimeters to 30 centimeters away from the microphone. And if I go too far, again, it's going to readjust based on that distance. This is like an auto gain. I don't see exactly what gain the microphone is set to. So this is a little bit random in my opinion. I would rather adjust the gain and see what gain I'm adjusting it to. Let's go back to near because I am technically near the microphone right now. All right. And now if we go to tone, I would say adjust the EQ curve of the microphone. So if I go to deep, again, my voice may sound a little bit more bassier. And if I go to bright, then it's going to probably be the other way around. And this is how the microphone sounds when it is on bright. But if I go to legacy, now I've switched to legacy and this is how the microphone sounds. You tell me in the comments how it sounds to you. Let's go back to natural. The monitor mix, it is self-explanatory. It is how much you hear from the microphone versus how much you hear the computer output if you have your headphones connected to the microphone. And the headphone volume, again, self-explanatory. You can also click here to mute the microphone. I'm going to mute, and I've muted the microphone and I'm muting it so you can listen to how it sounds when I mute the microphone. All right, this is basically the same what the capacitive mute button on the physical microphone does. Now, if I go to advanced, as you can hear, it's going to change a little because it's going to automatically go to the settings that are on advanced. The gain is set to 80 and the EQ is set to flat. Same first two options, headphone volume and monitor mix, no difference there. And here on the EQ is where things start getting a little different. You have a high pass filter, and this is how it sounds with the high pass filter enabled. Then you have a presence boost, and this is how the microphone sounds with the presence boost enabled. And lastly, you have a high pass filter and presence boost option, and this is how the microphone sounds with those two enabled. I'm going to leave that enabled for now so you can hear the difference. The mic gain, again, self-explanatory. It's the same as the knob you have already on the microphone. And and by the way, this is the EQ settings are the same as what you have physically, the physical button that you have on the microphone to switch it. It's pretty much the same function but on the software. Now, if we go down, we have a limiter, which I'm going to enable now. And this is how the microphone sounds with the limiter enabled. You can click on the three dots right here to adjust the settings within the limiter to your heart's content. Go to confirm, we go back. And you also have a compressor option, so you can hit the compressor. And again, that is going to enable the compressor. Again, if you click the three dots, you're going to have settings within the compressor that you can adjust to your preferences. If we go back, play this around a little so you can hear the difference between that. I'm just, doing random adjustments here, nothing particularly specific. Just so you can hear if there is any difference on your end. Let me know in the comments what you think of the Maono Link software. I like it. I think it's fine. A little basic if I say so myself. But yeah, you have these two options, right? The limiter and the compressor are the only ones that you don't have physically on the microphone. So you can enable that at the microphone level if you, for some reason, don't want to do it in post and you want to have it right built into the microphone as you're speaking. These two options could be useful if you are, for example, live streaming, I think, because you're going to have the limiter and the compressor built in right into the microphone as you speak. So that could be helpful. So yeah, this is the Maono Link software. Now let's go back to the video. As far as the sound, I really like how this microphone sounds with my voice. Again, this is very subjective. Sound in general, in my opinion, is extremely subjective. What sounds good to you may not sound good to me. A microphone that suits my voice may not suit yours because nobody has the same exact tone. But for my voice in particular, I really like how this sounds. I particularly like it with the high pass filter engaged. My voice tends to sound a little bassy across the microphone. So when I engaged that, I caught a little bit of those frequencies. So it sounds better to me. So is this worth mine? I would say yes. I have nothing to compare it to at this price point, honestly, and I cannot tell you buy X or Y microphone instead of this one because I haven't tried anything else at this price point. And I'm reviewing this product on its own merits. I'm not comparing it to anything else precisely because of those reasons. And all I can say is that this product on its own, it's worth it. I would say wait for sales because it's often discounted from the $150 retail price on Amazon. So if you can catch one of those coupons, you can grab it for maybe $110, $130. I've seen it around those price points before. So if you want it, wait for a sale. It's probably going to be discounted at some point. Let me know in the comments, are you planning to get a new microphone or are you upgrading from an old one? And if you have any questions about this one, I'll be happy to answer them in the comments. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.